Welcome back, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into a fascinating corner of American numismatics, the Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel. These coins are more than just small pieces of metal. They're pieces of history, each telling a story about the era in which it was minted. In today's episode, we will explore the most valuable top 3 Monticello Jefferson nickels, each with different mint marks and in varying conditions, that are highly sought after in today's auction market. From rare dates to remarkable minting features, we'll cover everything collectors need to know, including the current dollar values, tips for spotting these treasures, and how to preserve their worth for future generations. So let's get started. First move up, we explore the United States Jefferson nickel from 1957 with the Denver Mint mark. This 5-cent coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but for collectors, investors, and coin lovers, the 1957 Jefferson nickel in very fine condition holds surprising historical value, strong collector interest, and a growing place in today's auction market with impressive dollar prices. This video will take you through its history, design features, rarity, today's market value, and helpful tips for anyone hoping to add one of these vintage nickels to their collection. The story of the 1957 Jefferson nickel begins long before its minting year. The Jefferson nickel series was first introduced in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. Designed by artist Felix Schlag, the coin was meant to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The reverse of the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. By 1957, the United States was in the middle of the post-World War II economic boom, and coin production was increasing rapidly to meet the demands of a growing economy. At the Denver Mint, more than 120 million Jefferson nickels were produced that year, making this coin part of a busy era in U.S. coinage history. Even though the mintage was high, most of these coins were heavily circulated, making well-preserved pieces far more desirable today. The 1957 Jefferson nickel carries several unique features that collectors watch for carefully. On the obverse side, you can see a bold left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," on the left, and "Liberty," followed by the date 1957 on the right side. Just next to the date sits the D Mint mark, confirming that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. On the reverse side, the elegant image of Monticello appears with its classical architecture and dome. Surrounding it are the words, "E pluribus unum." At the top, the building name, Monticello, just underneath, and the denomination 5 cents, and United States of America at the bottom. In very fine condition, the details of Jefferson's hair, his cheekbone, and the steps of Monticello remain visible and clear, giving the coin both character and collector appeal. Original luster, clean surfaces, and minimal wear add even more value. Although millions of these coins were minted, finding a 1957 Jefferson nickel in truly collectible shape is much harder than many people realize. Most of them were used for years in pocket change and suffered heavy wear, scratches, and dull surfaces. Condition plays a massive role in a collector's decision, and very fine grade is already above the average surviving level. Collectors also search for coins with strong strikes, full details on Monticello, and clean rims without dents or damage. The rarity does not come from low mintage but from the difficulty of locating high-quality pieces that retain their original beauty from the 1950s. Any examples with full steps on Monticello can bring a much higher value because they are extremely scarce for this year. Today's auction market has seen renewed interest in mid-century Jefferson nickels, and the 1957 D is no exception. In very fine condition, the coin can sell for a modest but steady collector premium, depending on the sharpness of the details and surface quality. Higher grade pieces can reach significantly higher prices, especially if the coin has attractive luster or strong step detail. Some rare, high-grade mint state specimens have even achieved $1 million amounts in auctions, demonstrating that this nickel, though common in circulation years ago, now has a respected place among collectors. Its value continues to increase as more people recognize the importance of preserving well-conditioned Jefferson nickels from the 1950s. For collectors hoping to acquire or evaluate a 1957 Jefferson nickel, there are several important things to keep in mind. Always check the coin under good lighting to observe the strength of Jefferson's features, especially the eye, cheek, and hair curls. Pay special attention to Monticello on the reverse. The more steps you can see clearly, the higher the potential value. Clean, untouched surfaces are important, so avoid any coin that has been polished or scratched. Handling the coin carefully, storing it in protective holders, and comparing it with professional grading standards will help maintain its long-term worth. Collectors should also watch auction listings, coin shows, and reputable dealers to understand current market trends and pricing. The 1957 Jefferson nickel stands as a meaningful piece of American history and an appealing collectible for anyone interested in vintage U.S. coinage. From its connection to the post-war era to its signature design by Felix Schlag, this 5-cent piece carries far more value than the small number stamped on it. Whether you already own one or hope to find one in the future, understanding its history, features, rarity, and market performance gives you a stronger appreciation of why this nickel remains a special treasure in the numismatic world. Next move up, we explore the 1941 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, a coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye but carries surprising historical importance, hidden features, strong collector demand, and potential value in today's auction market, especially when found in fine condition. Sit back as we break down everything you need to know about this early-era Jefferson nickel and why it continues to attract attention from numismatists across the world. We begin with the history and background of this coin, a time when America was standing on the edge of major global change. The Jefferson nickel series started in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel, and it featured Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse. By 1941, the United States was preparing for wartime production, and this transition period resulted in millions of circulating coins, but with noticeable differences in strike quality, metal composition, and minting details. The 1941 nickel without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use mint marks for nickels before the wartime silver alloy issues that began in 1942. These early Jefferson nickels are part of the last generation before America shifted to emergency wartime compositions, which makes them highly interesting from a historical perspective. Now let's move to the unique features of the 1941 Jefferson nickel and what sets it apart from later issues. On the obverse, you will find a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson designed by Felix Schlag. The inscriptions include, "In God we trust, liberty," and the date 1941. When the coin is without a mint mark, it confirms Philadelphia origin. The strike style of early 1940s nickels often varies, so collectors look closely at the sharpness of Jefferson's hair, jawline, cheek details, and the clarity of the lettering. The reverse showcases the Monticello building with the inscriptions, "Monticello, 5 cents, United States of America," and "E pluribus unum." What makes this coin more interesting is that 1941 nickels often showed die deterioration, die cracks, weak steps on Monticello, and natural wear patterns that reveal how heavily these coins circulated during the early wartime economy. Even in fine condition, you can still observe strong architectural details on Monticello's dome and columns, making this coin an attractive collectible. We now look at the rarity and how condition affects the collector demand of the 1941 no-mint marked Jefferson nickel. Although millions were produced, finding one today in fine condition or better is getting increasingly difficult. Most examples found in circulation are heavily worn, scratched, or damaged due to decades of handling, environmental exposure, and metal fatigue. The Philadelphia Mint pieces from 1941 also show weaker strikes compared to later years, making strong details even more desirable. The coin becomes significantly more collectible if it shows clear facial features, readable inscriptions, and defined Monticello lines. While not the rarest Jefferson nickel by mintage numbers, its desirability grows because collectors seek early series examples, pre-war types, and well-preserved coins for their typesets and date mint collections. The combination of age, historical timing, and condition sensitivity adds to its overall appeal. Let's move to current market value in dollars and how the 1941 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark performs in today's auction market. In heavily circulated condition, these coins usually range from a few cents to a couple of dollars, depending on overall appearance. But once the coin reaches fine condition with clean surfaces, sharper details, and no major damage, it becomes more desirable. Fine-grade examples may attract buyers willing to pay anywhere from $565,000 depending on eye appeal and strike quality. Higher-grade examples such as very fine, extremely fine AU, and especially mint state pieces can command much higher prices. In MS60 and above, values can move into the $832,000 range and beyond. Coins with full steps on Monticello, which are extremely rare for 1941 Philadelphia issues, can reach significantly higher values in auctions, sometimes crossing $1 million or more. The market remains active, with collectors competing for strong specimens as early Jefferson nickels continue to gain recognition. Before we wrap up, here are some useful tips for collectors who want to add a 1941 Jefferson nickel to their collection. Always focus on the overall sharpness of the strike, as early nickels often suffer from flat details. Look closely at Jefferson's hair and the steps on Monticello, as these areas help determine grade and desirability. Avoid coins with heavy corrosion, deep scratches, or environmental damage because these flaws greatly reduce value. If possible, invest in graded examples from reputable grading companies, especially if you're aiming for higher value pieces. Also remember to store the coin properly in a breathable holder or a protective flip to prevent tarnishing or metal reactions over time. Even in fine condition, Preservation makes a huge difference in long-term value. The 1941 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, it becomes clear that this coin is far more than an old 5-cent piece. It represents a moment in American history, a transition from peace to war, and a time when coinage played an essential role in everyday life. Its unique features, condition sensitivity, historical background, and steadily growing demand make it an exciting collectible for both beginners and advanced numismatists. Whether you find one in your pocket change or purchase one from a collection, the 1941 Jefferson nickel remains a classic treasure worth appreciating, studying, and preserving for future generations. Next, move up the United States Jefferson nickel, specifically the 1947 issue without a mint mark. This 5-cent coin may seem modest in size, but in the collector's world, it holds immense historical and monetary value. Even in lightly rusty condition, this nickel has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike, fetching impressive sums in today's auction market. In this video, we will explore the rich history behind the 1947 Jefferson nickel, highlight its unique features, discuss its rarity and condition, provide an overview of its current market value, and offer essential tips for collectors looking to acquire this exceptional coin. The Jefferson nickel first entered circulation in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, which had been minted from 1913 to 1938. This new design honored Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The coin was the result of a competition organized by the U.S. Mint to create a modern and representative design for the 5-cent piece. Sculptor Felix Schlag won the contest, and his design has become iconic, enduring with only minor modifications for decades. The 1947 Jefferson nickel was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it bears no mint mark. Philadelphia was the primary mint for Jefferson nickels, especially during this post-war period. These nickels were struck during a time when the United States was emerging from the economic and industrial challenges of World War II. Unlike the wartime nickels from 1942 to 1945 that included a higher silver content, the 1947 issue is composed of the standard 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy. Despite its ordinary composition, the coin's historical context and collectible appeal make it a treasure in the eyes of numismatists. The 1947 Jefferson nickel is notable for its elegant design and subtle details. On the obverse side, you'll find a distinguished portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," along with the year of issue. Jefferson's profile is finely sculpted, highlighting his thoughtful expression and 18th-century attire. The reverse side features Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, with remarkable architectural detail for such a small coin. The inscriptions, "E pluribus unum, United States of America," and 5 cents, frame the design, giving it a balanced and timeless appearance. Collectors often seek out coins with minor variations or anomalies, and the 1947 nickel without a mint mark can present subtle differences in strike, relief, or die characteristics that make each coin slightly unique. Even lightly rusty specimens tell a story, reflecting decades of circulation while retaining the essential charm and integrity of the original design. Although millions of 1947 Jefferson nickels were minted, finding examples in exceptional, or even lightly rusty condition can be challenging. Over the years, many coins were heavily circulated, lost, or damaged. A lightly rusty 1947 nickel still holds significant appeal because the natural patina or oxidation does not entirely diminish the coin's value. In fact, some collectors prefer coins that show authentic wear, as it tells the coin's story and confirms its genuine circulation history. The coin's condition is a key factor in determining its market value. Coins graded higher by professional numismatic organizations, showing minimal wear and preserved details, are especially sought after. Even without a mint mark, a well-preserved 1947 nickel can command a premium, and the demand among collectors continues to grow as interest in mid-20th century coins rises. In today's auction market, a 1947 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in lightly rusty condition can range widely in value, depending on factors such as wear, toning, and overall eye appeal. Typically, these coins can sell for anywhere from $550,000 at retail, but rare examples in exceptional condition or with appealing patina may fetch significantly higher sums. Coins graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC can exceed $785,000 or more in certain cases, particularly if the nickel shows minimal circulation or interesting characteristics that attract collectors. For anyone looking to add a 1947 Jefferson nickel to their collection, it is crucial to handle coins carefully and store them properly to prevent further rust or damage. Coins should be kept in a cool, dry environment, ideally in protective holders or coin albums that prevent exposure to moisture and air. When purchasing coins, always seek reputable dealers or auction platforms to ensure authenticity. Additionally, Learning to identify subtle variations in strike or die marks can add depth to your collection and may help you spot coins with higher value. Patience and research are your best allies in building a strong and rewarding coin collection. The 1947 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is much more than just a 5-cent coin. It is a tangible piece of American history, a symbol of post-war America, and a fascinating object of study for collectors and enthusiasts. Its elegant design, historical significance, and enduring collectible value make it a standout piece in any numismatic collection. Whether lightly rusty or carefully preserved, this coin represents both the passage of time and the excitement of discovering rare treasures in the world of coin collecting. So, for anyone interested in building a meaningful and historically rich collection, the 1947 Jefferson nickel is a coin worth seeking, appreciating, and preserving for generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of rare and valuable coins. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of numismatic treasures.